There you go. That's right.
Why would you
Yes.
guys give up a touchdown?
Yeah, okay. Great question. Well, no, kids played hard, and just love the effort and the preparation, and that's sometimes things are going to work out like that. So,
What,
you know,
what
just
about the takeaways? Obviously, we've harped on that, and you got reaped the benefits right away on that.
yeah, 100%. It's just something you obviously emphasize, but takeaways are really a part of the game. It's about playing complementary football. I mean, the best teams that I've been a part of, the offense feels like they got to really push the pace to score. And when the offense is throwing the ball around and moving the ball around and trying to put the ball in the air and put the quarterback in harm's way, you know, quarterbacks are people too. When you hit them, they feel it, and when they start getting hit, they start getting careless with the football. They start trying to protect themselves, and our offense scored a lot of points, made Wyoming feel like they had to stay with us, and when that happens, we're able to create opportunities to be able to affect the football.
Was it a relief though, Brian? Because your defenses over a long number of years have generated a lot of turnovers, and then last year was an aberration. It seemed like so. Just having that, did that give you comfort? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like it goes back to it's just we have an expectation of it, affecting the quarterback and challenging all routes and making offenses win, not giving them, certain things. And if we can challenge defenses and stop the run and make them feel like they got to throw the football, and they got to score. Like again, last year, there's just some years that turnovers happen, and it's funny. Like I've seen more turnovers in my career when our offense is able to score points, and it's a game. It's a game of matchups, and hopefully this weekend's going to be another opportunity for us to cause some takeaways.
What are the biggest challenges with Chapin and what they do with their receivers?
Yeah, well, Chapin is an experienced quarterback. He's had a lot of success as a Division I quarterback. He's elusive. He's an athletic quarterback, so it's going to be a little different than what we saw last year. I mean, last week, a lot different. They spread the ball around a lot, and offensively, what they do with their RPOs and their quick game, they really try to protect the quarterback. Believe it or not. So you're going to see the ball in the air. I think a lot, and they're also going to try to set it up with their run game, and they do a great job of protecting their quarterback and taking what the defense gives them. I mean, that's just really kind of the MO of that offense. And they try to get you out of position with their tempo. They may be the fastest team we see all year, and they do a great job of getting defenses misaligned and running by quarterbacks and guys getting lazy in their technique, and hopefully we can get aligned and play fast.
Coach, obviously, Coach Dillingham talked about that yesterday, at least on the defensive side. A whole lot of players kind of had necessarily a lackadaisical effort, talking about how the team had, metaphorically had won the Super Bowl, had the number one defense last week. What did you tell necessarily your unit coming into today, and how do you feel like the effort was necessarily mentally?
I mean, if you go back to last year, and this is part of just moving forward in our program, and what Coach Dillingham, I'm sure, was in his head was, last year we went 7 weeks without a win, and then we beat Washington State, and then we go up to Utah and play our worst game in 10 weeks of football as a football team. And you got to learn how to win as a program. And that's like the next step, okay? And you just go through steps feeling like, okay, you're off and running as a program. So hopefully this next week's going to be that next step, and hopefully our guys can handle the success. And our guys are tough guys, and especially the guys that came back from going through what we went through and the steps that we had to take last year. That's part of the growing process. So this next step in the growing process is learning how to win, and that's our challenge. That's my challenge to the defense, and that's been our challenge this week. And regardless of what game it is or who we're playing, this offense is going to give us a lot of challenges because it's very, very different, polar opposite than what we saw last week.
Coach, I'm expecting not only a difference in style, also Greg. I see Greg Morales in the public. I'm expecting not only a difference in style, but there's going to be a difference in size, difference in speed. How do you prepare for that?
It's the best we can. We're going against a scout team, and we get a lot of crossover versus our offense. So we're able to get speed on speed and big on big. We try to script our practice to be able to simulate the game as much as possible. So they're going to bring a different size. I mean, they're giants on the offensive line, and they're very athletic at quarterback. If he doesn't see his first read, he'll move around, try to create. Their running backs are physical and athletic and fast, and their receivers will run by you. So we're trying to simulate that the best we can and simulate the tempo that we're going to see.
You have to get lined up fast, obviously, but does it make it harder to have a wider range of defensive calls when they are going so fast?
100%, 100%. You just again, the most important thing is it's about us. It's not about them. So if our guys we feel like we can execute, then it becomes a one-on-one situation. So we just tell our guys, you win your one-on-one, win your fight. Okay, you're out in the back alley, and it's just you and him one-on-one if we can get lined up.
And what's the biggest challenge? I mean, obviously with tempo, it is a challenge, but substitutions. I mean, last week again, guys, if they came out. But what are some of the challenges that presents?
It's the same thing. I mean, with the speed that they get, and their whole philosophy is to get to 100 plays on offense, and that's what this offense is trying to do. If they can get to 100 plays, they're on track getting into the fourth quarter. Their mentality is you're going to be too gassed to be able to defend us. And I've been a part of this type of system before, and I know how these guys and what their philosophy is for the most part. And obviously every guy puts his own wrinkle on it, and they do a great job in terms of this is our philosophy, this is what we're trying to do. So, doing the best we can, trying to take a lot off their legs this week in terms of simulating the tempo. We'll get into what we do tomorrow, which is really easy going and pretty easy on Friday. So it's all about recovery right now and get ourselves ready for Saturday night.
Coach, with 2 quick turnovers last week, and obviously the struggles last year to create turnovers, did that kind of relieve you a little bit when you saw those Keyshawn and Zyrus interceptions early in the game?
No. I mean, literally, if we're executing, we're going to be fine. You know what I mean? And that's it's about us, and we don't put those things in our head. Like the only thing is we're kind of like salesmen. Like we're only as good as our next sale, so we're only as good as our next week. And I think we got a really good group, and that's the thing. We got a lot of experience on our defense. I told you guys last week the thing that I was most excited to see is, we don't have a lot of starters coming back, but we had a lot of experienced guys that have played a lot of football, and now I want to see what they could do all together, playing in their first real situation together. So last week was. We did some really good things, but there's also things that we can get a lot better at, and that's going to be the challenge this week with the tempo and the athleticism and the size and all the things that these guys are going to present.
With the pace, how important is it to get the pre-snap disguises right?
I mean, it's hard. It's really difficult. Again, it starts with alignment, and everything starts with alignment in every defense in our install, and then you go with the disguises. So little wrinkles, little tweaks that we can show. I mean, they're in tempo, so they can get our signals, and so they can call the right play, and so the guy can give the run or pass call to the quarterback, and we already know all that. So again, that's where the chess match lies. Is how can we disguise and how can we hide our signals and shows and on the field and off the field. So it's gonna be really interesting. So it's gonna be a real challenge. I'm not sleeping much this week.
Yeah.
Did anyone jump out to you on film with the lights on and the crowd, just seeing it actualize on the field? Did any players specifically jump out from your group?
I mean, I look at it more from a holistic standpoint, looking at the position groups that really make a difference. And, we didn't get a lot of 5-step or them throwing down the field because they didn't feel like they were going to be able to protect. You could see that they were trying to protect their quarterback, especially early on when we hit them early. A few times they did drop back. We ended up getting to them. So, our defensive line, I mean, it all starts with those guys up front. I thought our interior guys were really disruptive. Our edges, we're able to set edges, and they were able to get a pass rush when we needed to. Linebackers were really physical. They played off blocks, and they had us schemed up a few times, and we just played faster than they were playing. And, and our secondary kept the ball in front of us. And that's really just our MO is, hey, when we need to challenge a route, we're going to challenge it. When we're trying to get you off schedule or we're trying to get you off the field on third down, we're really going to challenge you. So I just thought as a defense we executed when we needed to, and was just really proud. Was really proud of everybody. I mean, even the last drive when they scored. I mean, there was a couple calls I wish I could have had back, and yeah, we made a couple mistakes to allow those plays to happen. And but that's the thing about defense is you're always going to remember that one play, not the however many snaps that we had. That what are 58 snaps. I mean, you take away 6 snaps of that game, through like 49 snaps, they had, what was it, like 64 yards of offense or something crazy. So, you know, the guys played really well.